Real quick, I'm not gonna be here long. I just want to tell y'all this. I talked about it on today's podcast, and some of us, we gotta reprogram ourselves. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. Just thoughts that I actually recorded my podcast last week out here, so you'll actually hear it. But some of us need to reprogram ourselves, and that was something I had to tell myself a few weeks ago, is that like we programmed ourselves so much to accept less. We programmed ourselves so much to be controlled by society, by stereotypes, by people's opinions, by comparison. And like we literally are being who we shouldn't be. And I feel like we have three versions of ourselves. Like some of us, we have like 10. But I feel like most of us, we have three versions of ourselves. And I feel like I have three versions of me. And I want to be clear. You'll hear more in depth on the podcast what I'm talking about, but I want to be clear. I'm not telling you to be something that you're not. I don't believe in faking it till you make it, unless like there's other, unless you're trying to heal, and that's a whole different story. But I want to tell you this. Because of what we're going through, and I think even before this, that a lot of us at some point in our life, like we accepted less. And share this with people, guys. Like, these are messages people need to hear. I promise you. Like, we're in a mental health crisis, more than ever. More than anything else, we're in a mental health crisis. Like, that's not talked about enough, because I know it's not a sexy thing to talk about, but more than ever, we're in a mental health crisis. And so what up, y'all? What up, Chandler? How you doing? But, like, for whatever reason, we started, like, accepting less. And we started living like that. Maybe it's somebody who told us something that we truly cared about and we believe their opinion. Or maybe it was like a teacher, or maybe like in my case, you were cut from your dream, whatever. You start to feel like you're not enough. And those things start to pop up, man, like in your life. Like, we have reminders, right, that try to remind us that we're not enough. And what a lot of us do is that we believe it. Like, we allow those reminders to make us feel even more deeply that we're not enough, instead of having those reminders be like, nah, I am enough. Nah. And I start to think to myself, like, I call that person T-Shell. All right. That's why I call that person. A lot of my friends know that person. And T-Shell for me was my sports name. Like, when I stepped on the football field, I was unstoppable. I felt like nobody could stop me. I didn't care if you brought out Deion Sanders out there. I felt like nobody could stop me, whether that was true or not. That's the way I felt. I walked in maximum confidence. So what does it have to do with you? I want you to think about that person. Like, maybe it's when you cook. Maybe it's when you create, you draw, play video games. I don't know. Maybe it's, when you mow the grass. Like, there's a you inside of you that's totally confident. And I started to think about that. I'm like, dang, like, why am I living a lesser version of myself? Because that person is inside of me. Like, T-Shell is inside of me. And I'm not telling you to be something that you're not. And so I started to think about that. Like, my most confident times in life, like, okay, cool. I feel that sometimes when I'm working out. I feel that person. Like, I feel like I'm unstoppable. I'm competitive. And I realized that side of me, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. Like, I tone that side down to make people comfortable, right? And a lot of us, we do that. A lot of us, what we do is, like I said, we have three versions of ourselves. I feel like three alter egos. Our normal self, like Trent is just the caring person, the introverted, shy. Trent will never come on here, right? And then we have a person, like, I'm not going to say what I call that person, that I call is inappropriate. But then I have that person that just accepts less, that lives in a funk, that blames, that doesn't want to do anything. Yes, we all have that side that's not disciplined. And I have T-Shell, the person that really doesn't care. Doesn't care what people say, think, unapologetic, very confident. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about who you've been living as, because some of us, we ain't even living as our normal selves. Some of us are living in a lesser version of ourselves because for whatever reason, because somebody broke your heart, because because you're comparing your life to people on social media and you feel like you're not enough because you see them showing you things that maybe they're doing, maybe they're not doing, and you allow it to control your life. Or maybe like somebody said that you suck, or maybe you're afraid to be criticized and judged, and you live that person. And what happens is when you know that there's a greater side of you, and I feel like all three are necessary, by the way, but when you feel like there's a lesser side of you, when you feel like there's more to you, and you're not becoming that more that you know you can become, that it's inside of you, you start to feel a disconnect. You start to feel a disconnect from your life, from your purpose, just from this world. And you start to live in a depressed state. And that's what most people are at. And so My thing is, during this quarantine, it took me a few weeks because I was living as like the lesser version of Trent. During this quarantine, I decided to bring T-Shell out. And the world loves T-Shell, by the way. T-Shell is the speaker, the author, the person, like I said, that doesn't care. The person that's out here right now. I said, I got to bring more of this out. Trent is necessary. The other, what I'm not going to call is somewhat necessary, maybe 1%. But you got to bring out that fearless you more instead of the fearful you. You got to bring out that you that's not afraid to go challenge, that's not afraid to step up to the plate. The difference between people who do it versus people that don't do it is simple. The people that do it believe. They believe, because when you have maximum belief, whether you fail or not, you know at some point you're going to break through. I can't tell people, people all the time, it's like, how do I build this? How do I do this? It's like, you got to believe in it first. Like, if you don't believe in what you do, if you don't believe in who you are, then every opportunity that comes across your path to settle for less, to make you feel like you're not enough, you're going to take it. You're going to believe it because you truly don't believe in who you are. And so when I'm walking in my T-shell confidence mindset, failure, you can throw obstacles, you can throw coronavirus. It doesn't matter because I know my capabilities. I know that I'm unstoppable. I know the only person that can stop me is the person that's looking right here in the camera is me. And that's the same thing with you. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can. Nobody can force you to do anything. Nobody can force you to not step up to the plate. Nobody can. But a lot of us, we stop ourselves and we blame other people. No, it's on you. You're choosing to settle for less. You're choosing not to rise above. And I know that might be like I only can be straight up with you. I refuse to give y'all some sugar-coated stuff to make you feel good about doing nothing with your life. So I end on this. Bring out that beast you. Y'all let me know your name below. Like, what's that beast you? What's that person's name? Is it is it Beast? Is it whatever it may be? Ray? Is it Can't Stop Me? I don't care what you name yourself. You need to bring that person out more, because that person is the person that accomplishes things. You need a balance, right? Trent needs to be here, but Trent is toned down to about 50%, 40%. T-Shell is boosting up to about 50%, 40%. And that other me that I don't like, that doesn't serve me, we trying to kick that person out the house, right? We're trying to kick that person out of my mindset because that person doesn't serve me. Golden Goddess. There we go. CC. I see you, CC. See? That's what I'm talking about. That nickname. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you were growing up in the 20s. You know, you out the club and you don't care about nothing. I'm not telling y'all to go. Well, you can't go clubbing right now anyway. Right? But that person that's dancing in the mirror that don't care. The person that's singing in the shower that don't care. Like I said, the person that maybe you a grill master. You be flipping them burgers, right? And you just know you a beast at it. You showing it on Instagram. Maybe you a fitness trainer and you just know, like, when I'm in my element, I'm killing it. Right? When you in your element, you killing it. Why can't this world come up? I mean, why can't this world be your element? And so as I wrap this up, I always said like 30 times because I just try to give y'all value as much as I can, but I got to go home. Maria she probably on this live right now. She'll be like, where are you at? So I'm supposed to be home by now. So as I wrap this up, the reason why I come out here in nature, for one, y'all know I'm all about peace. I'm all about protecting your mental health. This is the greatest war. It's the greatest war is here. It's not nothing external. It's here. And the reason that I come out here, for one, it's to protect my peace, right? It's to like be in solitude, just my me time. But another reason that I don't tell people that I'm telling you is because I know when I come out here, you know what I'm going to find? T-Shelly. I'm going to find T-Shell. That T-Shell is going to come out here because I'm competitive as heck. And I know I'm going to push myself. This is my element. And so I try to start my day off with this because I know when I leave here, guess who's going to leave with me? T-Shell. T-Shell is the one that gets spoken words done, the one that goes on live, the one that, creates stuff, the creative version. That's that side of me. And I know that if I can put myself in an environment where I can find that Trent, T-Shelly, when I can find T-Shelly, I know when I get out into the world, that me is still present. And so I don't know if that's too deep for y'all or weirding y'all out, but we all got alter egos, man. We all got different sides of us. Whether you're happy, you're sad, that's a different side of you. And when you have that in your arsenal, to be able to call on Ghostbusters now, to be able to call on the you that serves you, right? And be able to call on that person, you know exactly how to bring that person out. I think that's when you become unstoppable. You look at people, you look at even the biggest music artists, you look at them, they're different. I know a lot of entertainers, like on stage they're a person, off stage they're a different person. Doesn't mean that they're different. Doesn't mean that they're faking it. It's just that they're that more confident version of themselves. They're not worried about nothing. They don't care about anything except delivering what they came to deliver. You see athletes, it's the same thing. Like you'll see an athlete that is freaking, you know, take Steph Curry, for example. On the court, you know, he's very confident. Whether you think he's quiet or not, he's very confident. He'd be celebrating, talking noise probably under his breath, all of those things. But off the court, you know, he's chilled, right? Everybody has that beast inside of them. Everybody does. And so you got to name that beast, and you got to be able to call on that beast when you need that person. All right? Let's get it. I appreciate y'all, man. You guys have a great day. Listen to today's podcast. Please share it with me once you listen to it, and let me know how it spoke to your heart. I'm going to start showing up for you guys a lot more, by the way, because T-Shell is here. Trent had his little run, which is necessary, because Trent is the peaceful me. Trent is the me that's disconnected. Like, Trent is the me that don't care about social media, would just want to go on an island somewhere, the introverted me, and just like not hear from me ever again, right? And just really just focus on just being at peace. And I need that for me, because that's who I am at the core of who I am, right? Like, I can be a person that steps away from everything and be good. So this quarantine thing was not hard for me. But I know that in order to give the world what the world needs, that T-Shell has to be here, right? Has to. And so I want to bring more T-Shell out. So you guys gonna see me doing a lot more stuff, a lot crazy stuff that might be like, then that's different. I want to challenge myself and push myself, not for me, not just for me, but also for you guys, because you guys deserve it. So I promise you I'll start coming on live more. I know I come on Instagram live like every, blue moon. I know I come on Facebook every blue moon, but I'll start being more consistent, because I need to get this message out, because we got some messages going around that are total BS, okay? But to each his own. Somebody might need it. So that's just my opinion. My opinion shouldn't matter to them anyway. All right, let's get it. Talk to you soon.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.